Good afternoon. I'm coming to you live from my craft room, and I have some new products to show you which have just been released only this week in the online exclusives on the Stampin website. You can go directly to my website, my online store, and find all these products that I'm about to show you. These are, some of them are Christmas, some of them Christmas themed, some of them are all occasions themed, and there's definitely a way to use the Christmas papers, the one horse open sleigh 6x6 papers, not just for Christmas themed cards. So yeah, I'll be showing you more of those very soon. But the products that I'm going to demonstrate with this afternoon is the Timeless Charm bundle, which has a bundle of stamps and dies, matching dies. They're actually small enough to fit in the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, even though I'm using the large Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine today. And yeah, I wanted to show you how I created some cards earlier on. I've been a little in my craft room a little bit today, and yeah, catching up on a few things. So this is one of the cards that I made earlier on. So I have a card base here, which is a very vanilla card base, just folded in half. So it's half an A4 and folded in half again to create the card. I'm going to be doing a portrait oriented card. And here is the bundle. So you'll see the Timeless Charm stamp set, which has a couple of images and about 3 greetings as well. Very versatile, and as I said, it's one that you can use all year round. And it's quite fun to play with. You can watercolor these images. You can use the sort of water wash shading to go behind. I'm doing a little bit of both today. I'm actually going to be coloring with my Wink of Stella brush as well, and just showing you a couple of techniques and showing you what these dies can do as well. These dies actually have partial cuts in them, so they create a lot of texture and a lot of dimension when you're using them on your cards and your projects. So the first thing I want to do is actually create a background for my card, and I'm going to use our well, it's not really a new colour. It is a colour that was around, probably a couple of years ago, and it's been brought back into our brights, and it's Blueberry Bushel. Really love this colour. It's a lovely bright blue, and the little spray of leaves or flower buds is the one that I'm using from the Timeless Charm stamp set. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a bit of a background here. See if I can stamp this straight. I'm just tapping really lightly because I don't want to get ink on my block. I don't want to add extra ink to my card. I want to try and avoid that. Otherwise I'm going to have to stick an embellishment over the top. So this is a really pretty little stamp, and as I said, you could leave it as is, or alternatively you can actually come in and colour or shade or blend inside the liner images. So that's in fact what I am going to do. I've got my Wink of Stella brush, and what I'm going to do is just colour in a couple of those leaves on each stem. So you don't have to colour in everything. We've actually got quite a lot going on this card. So I just want to touch off the Wink of Stella. So I might just end up doing three buds or 3 little sections of each of these stems, just so that you've got a little tiny bit of sparkle. So I'm just very lightly, I'm not even being too neat about it. You can probably just see that little bit of a sparkle now. Using the Wink of Stella brush. It's actually quite mesmerising, which is why I forgot to talk for a second, but that's okay. I really like colouring in. It's one of the most relaxing things I think you can do as a card maker. So there you go. There's that little bit of sparkle. Can you see that in the background? That's just one way to use your Wink of Stella brush. It pulls in a little bit of colour. I don't know if you can see from the edges too, so you'll end up with the little buds looking a blue colour, a pale blue colour. Alrighty, so we have a couple extra bits of cardstock here. We've got some blueberry bushel and some extra very vanilla. So what I'm going to do with the blueberry bushel is I'm going to use one of these stamps. Now this almost looks like a watercolour wash, this one. These three are all the same, and you can actually put them behind the stamped images if you wish to. You can also use them behind the dies, which is what I've chosen to do. So I'm going to just stamp this in the middle of my blueberry bushel piece like that. I've cut this. This is like 5.5 by what is it? 5.5 by 7. Yeah, so it's a smaller piece. I've just cut an A4 size down a little bit. And I'm also going to just go around with some scissors. Let me just grab my paper snips. And leaving my paper snips closed, this is a technique that I've been using quite a lot lately. It's actually one of the first techniques I learned as a stamper. Just roughing up the cardstock, distressing the cardstock. You don't need a special tool for it. You could even use your fingernail, but I prefer to use my paper snips because I don't really have much in the way of fingernails. That's just how I roll. Okay, and we've also got a small piece of vellum which is going to go behind that. So I'm going to start layering up now before I cut my final piece. I might use some glue dots. Let me just find my glue dots. Because I'm using vellum, I don't actually want to use a very wet glue. Actually, no, I might use my Stampin' seal. There we go. I'm using this a lot more. I like it because there's no drying time, and it gives you a really good seal behind your bits of cardstock, and it's great for using with vellum. I don't know if you've noticed, but when you use the wet glue with vellum, it tends to kind of warp and bend a little bit, and you want to just try and avoid that. So that's just going to go straight in the middle like that. And then I'm going to pop that to the side and just bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now we'll grab this die that I showed you, which has the partial cuts, and I'm just going to be cutting it out of the very vanilla piece. Hi Deb, good to see you. Hi Hilary. Yeah, so we're going to cut the very vanilla piece with this die. I'm just going to run it through really quickly, and you'll see what I mean by the partial cuts when I get it out. I'll show you up close what actually happens. So it's not going to cut fully through. I mean, it cuts around the edge for sure, but it doesn't actually cut any bits out of the flowers. But with the partial cuts, what you want to do is just bend the petals back like this, and then the middle part, that's the partial cut, will actually sit up a little bit and add some extra dimension to those flowers, which looks kind of cool. So yeah, I'm liking this set of dies. And don't forget, when you do buy the dies and the stamps together, you're actually saving 10%. It is a 10% off bundle. So that's really good to remember. You're saving quite a bit there. What is it? About $11 you're saving, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so that's in the online exclusives, and you need to, in the online store, just search for Timeless Charm Bundle. That's all you need to search for, and you'll find them. Alrighty, so now we are ready to pop these together. Actually, I'm gonna just pull that up. It's a bit crooked. Thankfully, with our Stampin' Seal, you've got time to kind of maneuver it if it's not quite in the right spot. Alrighty, so I'm just going to add a tiny bit of the seal to the back of these flowers, just a smidge. You don't need a lot because it's a really, really small little piece of cardstock. I'm just going to add a little tiny bit there. Alrighty, that's looking good. Okay, so we have a gorgeous card. Now I realise that there is no greeting on this, but there's plenty of room to stamp on the inside. I'm just going to add some in colour, boho blue in colour dots to the front, just to add a bit of an extra sparkle because our card is a blue card. So there you go, there is my card. I've actually made a couple other ones in different colours. So this is my lemon lime twist version. And you can see I've used the leaf dies, and this is a landscape one instead of a portrait, and I've stamped the leaves in the background. Again, I've used some Wink of Stella just to kind of highlight those a little bit, and I've actually used some retired embellishments. I didn't realise that until I'd already used them, but that's okay. I know you guys have other things in your stash and things that are retired. You can still use them, right? And sometimes these things come back into the clearance rack too. So be on the lookout for your favourite embellishments. Incidentally, the clearance rack has had a bit of a refresh, so you may want to go into my store and have a little look and see what there is. There's up to 60% off the clearance rack items, so it's definitely worth checking out. Would you like to see another colour? This is my bubble bath version of the same type of card. I've got the bubble bath stamped in the background and a little bit of Wink of Stella. There's some bubble bath stamped in the background of the flower, and that's just one of the other beautifully detailed dies from the Timeless Charm dies. There are 13 dies in here. Some of them actually just cut out, I'll show you them. Some of them actually just cut out around the shapes. So if you're wanting to stamp your flower, for example, you've got one that goes around the edge, and same with some of these images. But you've also got what I like to call standalone dies. So these ones you don't have to use with the stamp set. You can just use them by themselves. And yeah, they're not meant to fit around a die. They're actually meant to be a feature in and of itself. And as I said, some of them actually have this really cool effect, which is what I like to call partial cuts. And yeah, they will give you a real three-dimensional look to your card. So there are my 3 cards. I hope you enjoyed watching me make the blue one today. And I hope you get on my online store and have a little look at all the new products that are out. I am about to send out my newsletter as well, so if you haven't received that yet, that's why I'm yet to send that. These products only came out on the 6th, so I'm only a couple of days behind. But yeah, look out for that in your inbox. And have a great weekend. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.